Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is currently pouring down with rain, but I knew I had to make a second one of these videos. I put the first one out, about a week ago now, Walk and Talk episode 1, where we just spoke about the generalization of getting into reselling on eBay and other platforms, and I thought, you know, that one went pretty well. I wasn't expecting it to do as well as it did. To be honest, I was expecting it to kind of be a little bit of a flop on the channel, just because it wasn't actually, you know, directly buying and reselling and stuff. But we were talking about it and you guys seemed to like it, according to the like and the dislike ratio and the views. So I thought I'd come out in the rain, probably slip up. I've come to this alleyway because it's shielded from most of the rain, although when the birds fly away you get extra water on your head. Yeah, the subject for today's episode is going to be managed payments. So if you don't know what managed payments is, I'm going to explain to the best of my ability managed payments. Obviously not everyone right now is on managed payments, but eventually all sellers, I believe private and business, will eventually be moved onto managed payments. So we'll be talking about that, explaining a little bit about what it is, how it works, how it differs from the regular payment system, i.e. PayPal, and then I'm going to explain and talk to you about my experience with getting onto managed payments. Now, I just want to start the conversation with saying I actually really love managed payments. I think it's a great way to do payments. I think eBay should have been doing it for a long time. They finally got around to doing a system like this. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect, I'm not saying it's fantastic, but it is 100% better than the hodgepodge PayPal system we had before, and some people are still on. My second account on eBay is still on PayPal rather than the new system. But having said that, I need to explain what managed payments is, because probably about 85% of you resellers are not currently on managed payments, or you don't even know what managed payments is, because I know a lot of people haven't even been sent the first email yet. So basically, back in the day when when eBay first started, they didn't have their own payment system. So people would like send checks to you, direct debits, not direct debits, that's like anyway, they would send you payments through your bank, that kind of stuff. It was all very confusing. And then obviously PayPal came along, and that became a big payment option on eBay. And then eventually eBay and PayPal got together. I don't know which way it went, whether eBay bought PayPal or the other way around. I think eBay bought PayPal. And that was the main payment system on eBay for a long time, and still is today currently. And then obviously a few years back they parted ways, and that was when, for me at least, the payment system kind of got a little bit too broken, because if you had an issue you'd have to talk to eBay, call them up, and they'll tell you it was a PayPal thing. You'd call PayPal and they would go, we don't know what's going on, call eBay. So you'd have to call eBay again, and it was all a big faff, and it was a pain, to be honest, and it wasn't very good. And obviously if you had an issue with a buyer, they would do a claim on eBay. If they failed that claim, they could go to PayPal, put a claim in there, and even if they failed at PayPal, they still had the option of going to their bank. And then obviously you'd have to fight the bank with PayPal. PayPal would be on your side, but it just took a long time to deal with all of that. So I never really liked the whole eBay PayPal partnership after the breakup. It was a pain. It was, to be honest, it was a pain when they were still together. I was selling on eBay at that time, just obviously not full-time, not even part-time, just I had an account and I would sell stuff randomly, and even then it was still annoying. So anyway, that kind of explains the current system for most people. It is proper rain in here, so I need to hurry this up. But the managed payment system is an inbuilt system that eBay have put together along with, I believe the payment company is called Adyen, which is, I think, from Norway or Sweden or one of those countries around there. I can't remember exactly. Someone did tell me once. It's from one of them countries. It's called Adyen. It's the same one that Etsy uses. And basically what happens is you can still accept payments from like a card, from PayPal, e-check or whatever it happens to be, but instead of it going into your PayPal account, it has nothing to do with PayPal anymore. It's completely separate. What happens is you have a part on your eBay desktop that you can go to, and when you get paid, it goes into an eBay like holding account, and they hold the money. I believe it processes for 3 days. Once eBay has confirmed that they definitely have the money, the payment gets completed, at which point within 24 hours you can have that withdrawn to your bank account of choosing. So yeah, it takes a little bit longer to get your money, but you get nice payments regularly. You can choose, I believe, daily, weekly, monthly payments with what you've sold on eBay. Now obviously your payments are delayed by 3 days, so you're getting payment, if you're doing daily payouts, you're getting daily payouts from 3 days prior, but after you've been on like for a week, the roll-in payouts starts to happen. Obviously you don't get payments on the weekend, so there is a 2-day delay there as well, but it's actually quite nice, to be honest, because you can see your money build up in the pot, and then they send it all to you in one go, and you don't have to deal with PayPal fees anymore. One thing that they have done is they have, I'm going to walk back this way because it's too wet out here. eBay now take, I think, a 30p fee on every sale, which kind of covers what you would have paid roughly for a PayPal minimum fee anyway, because I think PayPal minimum fee was like 25 or 30p per sale, and then like however much it was on top of that, I can't remember. So yeah, you are paying to eBay now the fees that you would have paid to PayPal, but it's just all in one place. And the other good thing is they now take your fees out instantly. So you have a managed payment bit, and then you have an invoice bit. So yeah, so what happens is when someone buys something for you, the normal fees that you would obviously have to pay at the end of the month, or daily if you wanted to do it daily, they go out straight away. So you never receive that money. So at the end of the month, you don't then have a massive bill to pay. It pays it for you. Now, what I have noticed with being on managed payments is that actually what happens is if you promote your items, the promotional fee goes into your invoice, so you will have to pay that at the end of the month instead of every time you get a sale, which is a little bit annoying. Hopefully they have an option to change that in the future, but currently that seems to be how it is. And obviously if you have a store as well, that goes into your invoice rather than instantly coming out, because they can't just take £80 out or whatever it happens to be for your store fee. I have the second store, so mine's about £80 a month. So yeah, that's basically what managed payments is, and they're slowly rolling everyone onto that and getting everyone off PayPal. They wanted to do it by the end of this year, but I don't think that's going to happen now. I think by probably mid next year, something along them lines. Do we want to go up there? I don't think so. We're going to carry on down here. That's the church up there. We don't want to go walking around in the churchyard. That would be creepy. So yeah, that is what managed payments is, and like I said, they're going to be slow rolling everyone onto that system, and I personally think it's a much better system than having it split with PayPal. The only annoying thing is when I do my labels, I don't have money in my PayPal account now, so I have to use my card, and it's rather annoying. I know I can put money in my PayPal, it's just kind of frustrating, but you know, swings and roundabouts to everything, to be honest. Now I have explained what managed payments is, I'm just going to give you a quick story about how I ended up on managed payments. So about 2 months now ago, PayPal, my PayPal account in my name, they decided to close my account one day. Sales stopped, and I was like, what is going on? Logged into my PayPal account and it was like, you have been suspended. And I was like, wait, what? Long story short with that one, I had an account when I was like 15 or something. No, I wasn't that young. 17. It was before you're allowed to have an account. I had an account or something. I can't remember exactly what story they told me, but I had an account and I wasn't supposed to have an account all them years ago because I was underage or something. And then they'd found that account, matched the names to my current account, and then they were like, yeah, you can't have a PayPal account ever again in your life because you broke our terms of services all that time ago. And I was like, that's mad. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. So they completely shut down my account. They locked me out of my account fully. And I was like, well, that sucks because now I can't do eBay. So I managed to use a family member's PayPal account, and I phoned eBay and I was like, look, this has happened. Is there any way of fast forwarding my application on to managed payments? And they said, look, no, the system is you have to ask, say you're interested, click the button, and then we'll send you an email within like the next month or so, and then you can jump on to manage payments. At this point I didn't know I had the family member's account I could use, so I was proper panicking, and I was like, okay. So I clicked the button, I sent the email off, waiting for a reply. So eventually I got the second PayPal account, which I was able to set up on my eBay, so things returned back to normal. Okay, and then at this point I was completely fed up with PayPal anyway, so I was like, as soon as this comes through, I'm gonna jump straight onto managed payments. I don't care anymore. PayPal, I hate you. You're so annoying, you're a pain. I'm gonna get straight away from PayPal. So eventually I get a confirmation email, oh, you're eligible now to jump on to manage payments. And it was like, you have until, this was September the 10th, I believe. You have until October the 16th, it said, to get on to managed payments. Otherwise, we're gonna stop you from being able to list. That's what it said. Big red words. October the 16th is your deadline. Bearing in mind, this deadline is different for everyone, so don't panic if you're watching this. You probably don't have a deadline like that. But my deadline was October the 16th. If you don't have it by October 16th, you can't list anymore. So I was like, right, this is it. Log in, go to the page. It wants my information, name, address, blah, 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 bank detail. And this is where it gets strange. It wanted a bank statement. So I'm gonna have to back up the story a bit here, and this might be quite hard to follow. I've moved twice within the last 3 years, okay? And this information is gonna be important. The first house was on a golf course, and my driver's license or provisional license had that address on, okay? Very important information. That house is gone. They've knocked it down, they've rebuilt something new on. So the postcode for that house doesn't exist anymore, okay? Very important information. Which I didn't know, by the way, until this all happened. So my provisional is out of date, has the wrong address on. The house I moved from before this house I'm at now is still the address that is on eBay. Nope, that's a lie. I'd updated my eBay address to my new address. My bank statement was still addressed to my last house, okay? So my bank statement still had my last house on, and my ID still had the house that's been knocked down on. My passport is out of date by about 10 years. So I can't use that as ID. So without realizing it, I have my address, business address, home address, living address on eBay at my current house. And they were like, to confirm you are who you are, can you please send an ID, driver's license, provisional, passport, in date, with your correct address, or a bank statement with your address on. All I had to do was go onto my phone, change my address on my bank account, and ask for a new statement. I didn't do that. I sent them the statement with my old address on. So the system flagged up, blah, 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 blah. Incorrect, incorrect, incorrect. We now need government ID to prove who you are. And I was like, I've messed up here. So I go straight to the government website for getting an updated provisional license, type in all my information, ask for a new card because I've moved house, and it says, sorry, that address does not exist on the system. We can't find who you are, so we can't get you a new provisional. So the system had deleted the postcode for the house that got knocked down because it no longer exists. Makes sense, right? The government system removes the address, it no longer exists. So when I try to update my provisional that has that address on it, it thinks I'm lying. It doesn't recognize it. It can't give me an updated provisional. I'm still in this predicament now, and I still don't know how to fix this situation, by the way, because when it tells you to contact their customer services because of COVID-19, it's a robot. And you know what happens? It says, sorry, the queue is full. And instead of putting you in a queue that you wait, it just cuts you off and tells you to come back later. So you literally cannot talk to someone. So my only other option is a new passport. That's all right.
Thank you.
That's okay. So, new passport. Go to the post office, get the information for the new passport. Fine. Fill it all in. Get it all done. Send it off. Right? £110, I think it was. £120. Crazy. Right, my passport is going to turn up within 6 weeks. Bearing in mind the deadline was like 7 weeks away or something along them lines. 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't remember exactly now. So I'm panicking. I'm like, this passport better arrive. And then about 2 weeks later, I get a letter through the door. Sorry, we can't complete your passport application because the addresses or something are wrong. Can you send a birth certificate that has both your father and mother's names on? Okay, I can do that. I have my birth certificate. Oh wait, my birth certificate does not have my parents' names on. Okay, problem. So now I have to go to the government website again. You can see where this is going, to order a replacement birth certificate that has their names on. Okay, it's going to cost me £18 and it's going to take up to 2 weeks to arrive. Or I can pay £38 for next day delivery. I pay the £38 for next day delivery. It arrives, put it in the envelope, ship it off to go get my passport, and they tell me the 6 weeks that it takes to get your passport done has reset itself because you have sent new evidence. Great. New evidence, 6 weeks. So here I am panicking with a week left to sort this out. I'm thinking this passport is never gonna arrive in time. What am I gonna do? They're gonna lock me out of my account. I can't list, can't do anything. I've spent £150 at this point trying to switch over. and then I get a genius wave in my brainwave, genius brainwave. I think, what if I update my address to my old address that's on my government ID card, and then submit the government ID card that matches my address? So I did that, and guess what? It accepted it. So not only had I spent money on a new passport, I'd spent money on a new birth certificate. I didn't need to. All I had to do was change my address to match my ID and then upload the ID and it accepted it. Anyway, I got my new passport. Now I can go abroad, but I can't because Corona. But I have it. I have a new birth certificate as well. But yes, now I'm on managed payment and it's great. But yeah, that was my hectic story of getting on to managed payments. So anybody out there, make sure your address is up to date on eBay, and make sure you have government ID and bank statements that corroborate, is that even a word? That match the address on the system, because it will flag it up as an error and you will get stuck in the same situation that I was in, and that is not fun. So yes, I am now on managed payments. If you've not already signed up to try and get onto managed payments, if you go to your seller hub, click the payment tab, you'll be able to sign up for it there. It takes about a month to get the information to be able to do that, and you want to get on that as soon as possible because it's so much better than PayPal. Anyway, that is the end of today's video. If you have any questions or subjects you would like me to cover on Walk and Talk in the future, do let me know in the comment section below. But I am by the road and it's getting very loud, so I'm going to end the conversation here. But thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you guys again soon.
We